Good afternoon, everyone. This is United TV. My name is Kemal Erkan. Our second episode today, Bariatric Friday. We are going to discuss another important topic for our patients who are going through bariatric surgery, and also some of them, and maybe most after the surgery, on the post-surgery side of it. What we know today is bariatric surgery is not just some clinical intervention to fix a problem, but there's also a lot to do with psychologically. So just like when we say weight loss is not just physical, right? So psychological, emotional, social, and we understanding this, we know that our patients will need more support. And just like the name itself, support group is extremely important for those who are with us, and we make those programs available to our patients. So we are going to discuss why this is important. The support groups are important, and Dr. Irgau is joining me to have this discussion and then give us his clinical expertise. And Dr. Irgau, it's been a couple of weeks now, so how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I really missed our Bariatric Fridays, Kemal, so I'm very happy we're back on track.
Well, thank you for being available. And
of course.
So we want to go ahead with our episode on support group and make sure that our patients get their information from us. And I think one of the first questions that I want to start actually on the post-surgical side of it. Why is support group so important?
It is very, very important. Essentially, as we've talked about many times, Kemal, the care of the patients who struggle with morbid obesity does not end with the actual surgery. The actual surgery is, of course, is a very important component of what we do to help and treat the patients, but it is really a part of a much larger continuum of care that starts with the preparation for surgery, but then continues after surgery as well. And that continuity involves support, right? That support means that we are committed to be there for the patients to support them in their needs after surgery, right? But it's not just us as healthcare providers interacting with the patients that is only important. It's also important for the patients to interact in between themselves as well, to provide support, right? But that requires structure, and we are there to provide that structure. So support groups is not just a mere getting together and then chatting. Really, it's a structured process whereby we provide a platform for patients to celebrate their victories, but also to be able to get support when they have problems, when they have challenges. And it's far easier to overcome those challenges when you have that support group structure where patients feel they are in a space where there is no judgment, where there is complete understanding of what they are going through because they are surrounded by people who have gone through the same process as well. Clearly, bariatric surgery results in a lot of improvement in the health, in the quality of life of the patients. But does also come with a lot of challenges afterwards. And those challenges include mental health challenges as well. Patients may feel isolated afterwards. Patients may struggle with the fact that food is not a source of comfort for them anymore because they cannot eat as much as they did before, right? Patients may feel under stress because the dynamics of their relationships may change because of the changes that they are undergoing at the same time. These cannot be left for them to face and solve alone, right? We have to be there, and we have to provide that structure whereby they can interact with the other patients and discuss and be provided not just with verbal support, but also with practical tips on how to deal with various challenges that can occur afterwards.
So I want to come back to one of my analogies on the support issue that may not be directly related to the bariatric, but I think the understanding of psychology and what's behind that, what we are, human being, what we need in time, like for example, not every animal socializes, right? So, but we do.
Yes, we do.
The monkeys do. The other mammals do, but in different ways and different levels. But ours is the most advanced,
Yes.
and that requires constant exchange and being able to share things and being able to have the sympathy and empathy, and but also when it comes to the clinical setting, it does require some structure, as you mentioned.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
and I'm going to kind of give an update on what I mean by this, like what we have available today.
Yep.
So we have our every first Tuesday of the month.
Yep.
Now we start at 5 p.m., I believe. Usually that's with Dr. Gelwin, and she runs those, and she brings different people. People can join via Zoom. That information is available on our website.
Yep.
We have patients who already registered; they get regular updates.
Yep.
So, and then we have our webinars that we do for our patients. And then we have the Facebook group. Now, Facebook group becomes a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
So tricky in a way that that's where we need a lot of supervision from our offices. Right now, James Coe, Melissa, Demat, and myself, we oversee that. And Ashley as well from the surgery center. So only approved people. I mean, if you still, unfortunately, Facebook is one of those where you don't want to really tell people that you still use Facebook. But for this purpose, actually, it's a good platform. But we are not limited with that. As I said, we have our Zoom lead chaired by the medical director. So with the Facebook support group, only if they are CREAS patients, they can be on it. We verify them personally. We have to approve them, and then we watch what they're posting. In many cases, there were the last so many years, there were maybe some instances where we banned people. So it's a private kind of a social club. So, and when people wanted to find some information, or if they have questions, they can post, and they can kind of, we watch those, what they're saying, how they're answering. So it's a good way to get that. But I want to go back to this understanding of the being in an environment where you deal with people who are similar to you. So again, it's not just patients. So when I was at this last Turkey trip, one of my closest friends is Bekir and his brother also. But Bekir and I, we actually do certain things in business together, like not working together in the business, but we have similar styles, how we are approaching the business. And if I don't talk to him enough on business issues, or I know that when he has a lot of issues in the past with certain things that I always, I have also in my day-to-day life, when we start talking about those, things are different. Now, okay, so you feel, number one, you feel better. Number two, you are also able to kind of see solutions together, because that's how this happens. When you take a huge break, sometimes you forget what that actually was giving you. And that's why I believe bariatric support group also is important from that perspective, to make sure that patient knows that you are not alone, and you are in a supervised, well-guided, well-regulated environment, you can be comfortable and then ask your questions and then prepare for surgery, and also seeing the results of others.
Of course.
So, we have patients who are posting their own pictures, and people who lost 100 pounds, 120 pounds, 180 pounds.
Absolutely.
And we are not telling them to post these things, they do it.
Yes.
So seeing the results, that also helps them. Okay, this is what I can actually really get. So it's not like we have the one model who just goes out there and then here's what I did, blah, blah. It's not that. There are several people, hundreds of people who have extremely good
Results.
Success,
Yep.
Extremely good results, and that's kind of helping people to feel better. But then we have like what we know in clinical settings. Every patient is unique. So what may work for one person may not be working for the others. That's why we also want to make sure that people can participate in this once a month, chaired by Dr. Wynn, that they can ask questions directly to the MD rather than maybe getting information in public portals.
Yeah.
So I kind of like steal the second question. I'll go to our next. So in terms of clinical ones on the pre-op, the pre-surgical, how is this helping the patients?
So, in terms of their participation in the support
Right.
group, absolutely, it does. Because, you see, one of the most difficult things for people to see is to project what will be like after they've had surgery, right? They're looking at themselves and they want to go through the surgery, but then they want to know what their life will be like afterwards, right? What a better way to do that than to go to spaces where there are lots of people who've had that experience and they are now after surgery and they can share their experience. And so you can watch and understand. It is one thing for a person to go through, online and try to figure out posts or other things or information that may be random, may be difficult to verify. It's another thing to participate in a meeting of people who are likely to be living within the same community that you are and who have gone through the same process, and now they are giving you information about what happened afterwards, what challenges they had, what victories they celebrated, and how they dealt with whatever problems they may have come. So I think it's actually very important for patients who are preparing for surgery to participate in these support groups, because it will give them a framework of what to expect afterwards in a real way. It will ground them in a way that they will feel much more secure about it. There is apprehension and anxiety about the unknown when you are facing surgery, when you are facing changes in your life, right? And that may be one of the reasons also why we don't see as many people going through the surgery as they should, given the prevalence of obesity, right? I see patients in my office, Kemal, coming to us for general surgical purposes, right? They're coming because they may have a lump that needs to be removed, a gallbladder problem, or others. And yet, I see that they're struggling with weight as well. And I do ask them, and it's my duty also to ask them whether they are getting enough help to lose weight. And in that theme, the issue of weight loss surgery is broached. And it is interesting how people look at it and they really do not have enough information about the effectiveness of the surgery, about the improvement in quality of life. So if they are able to see that through these meetings where they're looking at peers, really, people just like themselves who struggled for many years, who've gone through the surgery, and now they are benefiting from the outcome, that is actually very, very helpful. It will give them not only a sense of security, but also encouragement that they are doing the right thing in going through the process for surgery.
Definitely. So now, with the family members attending the support groups, what's your feeling on that?
I highly encourage that, Kemal. I really do, because one of the problems that we have very often is that you have patients who really want to go through the surgery, right? but then family members may not be as informed either because they don't struggle through weight themselves or because they don't have that perspective, right? And not having that understanding within your own family structure actually can create problems. So bringing family members to these events, I think, is very, very helpful. It will create more understanding. It will create more empathy. And there will be more support in the family structure as well, not just in the support group setting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Going back to the psychological part, one of the issues that we also need to mention is depression-related issues. We talk about the psychological part on the interactions, being able to socialize with people, share issues, but there's also some, preset in many cases that we know. Depression,
Yes.
because when someone lives with this chronic illness for so long, it does have impact on their mental health, and this depression is already there. And just so that we can kind of emphasize the resolutions on those and what the support groups can do for those patients, they already have depression in the first place.
So depression is extremely prevalent in patients who struggle with obesity. It's been shown in many studies. And very often the reason for the depression is really the inability to take care of the obesity itself, right? And bariatric surgery does go a long way to helping in this, because patients will have a much better sense of themselves. They will be happier with their image. They will be happier about their prospects for the future. They will feel better that they don't have to take medications and so forth. But also, we have to be sometimes realistic in understanding that there will be depression that may continue afterwards as well. And it is important for patients to continue to follow up with their providers for that purpose. If they were on medication, they shouldn't take themselves off the medication without appropriate supervision from the doctors that have prescribed those medications, right? But then there may be reasons to struggle with depression after surgery, because patients may start struggling, for instance, in their relationship, right? Because there may be issues of insecurity of the significant other now that they're looking much happier and maybe more beautiful, more handsome, more attractive. And insecurity could be created, and that could create friction that could affect the mental health, right? So these are real issues. Another reason for mental health struggles afterwards, Kemal, may be the fact that now food is not readily available as a reward system or as a stress relief system that they used to have before. And that by itself can create a sense of depression, right? Because there's not that reward that they had before. Another reason would be a difficulty coming to terms with their new image, right? When they look at themselves. These are all real potential problems that need to be addressed, and having a continuous interaction with us, with their counselor, with their psychologist, with their psychiatrist if necessary, is very important. They need to know that. But beyond that, knowing that it's not only them as individuals who are going through this, but that these are common things that others have to contend with as well, is by itself something that can bring some relief, right? You go to a support group and say, oh, it's not just me who felt this way. There are others as well. I wonder how they dealt with this, right? And hearing how that happened is very important. Now, the role of the moderator here, Kemal, is very important, because the moderator is the one that can bring expertise as well, right? We do not want solutions that don't have any basis on evidence-based medicine, right? We want solutions that are grounded on science, and the moderator can bring that, right? So, first of all, you come to the support group and come to the realization that this problem is just not yours, right? Others have struggled, and that by itself brings a sense of relief. Then you can hear about solutions how people dealt with them, and then that can open up opportunities, just like what you were saying about your interaction with Beck here, and then seeing that there are solutions that you may not have seen or solutions that he may not have seen just with your interaction, right? And that's
And
what
when you see someone doing what you are doing, it's kind of reassuring that, okay, so I'm not just so crazy.
Absolutely. So that, and then of course the expertise that Dr. Wynn brings to these sessions as well, by her being available there to steer the conversation so that real science-based solutions are provided as well. So to go back, mental health struggles are prevalent before surgery. They are much improved because of the surgery, but there may be other challenges that could come up afterwards as well, and we have to prepare to deal with them. We have to be prepared to provide the appropriate support to patients.
Advance warning for everyone for my coughing, and it will be cut. So I'm freely coughing. So, the issue of the fear of regaining weight is one real issue for many patients. Not necessarily they're going to gain weight. It's just like the fear, because there's a lot of information out there, misinformation out there, I should say. So it's really not guiding them properly if it's not coming from the right resource. I want to mention something to you, Dr. Irgau. Yeah, and then I mentioned as an update in this our 2 p.m. session. So I met the Minority Web Catherine Clark yesterday, and because it was a very intimate group of people, we were able to spend some time with direct questions. And I said, why are we not regulate the social media platforms? So then, like, Ethan has only one account on Facebook and one account on Twitter, and it's like verified that is that person.
Yes.
So then the accountability of this misinformation is kind of like at least identifiable. Because we were actually looking at it from the political standpoint, the influence of social media and what it can do. And we know what it did in the past, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, but now with healthcare, people who are not real, we don't know who they are giving information, and people who are real looking at those and making decisions and forming an opinion. And I think this regulation is something that I want us to work with our state officials to see if we can actually, because from the political side, they're both benefiting. So then I think whoever has more power and money, then they don't want to give that up. I want to be fair to everyone, but I just, like, if it was up to me, I would just do it. Because you cannot have these keyboard heroes, we call them, like, when they're on the keyboard, they become the most powerful, and then when you're in person, this little zero self-esteem person. So let's make this real, and then let's make sure that these are identifiable. Why can't we, right? Because we also have the same misinformation issue during the COVID time.
Of course.
Right? So it's not just limited to what we have with bariatric surgery. So, and I do, with all the influence that I may have and we may have together in politics, I'm going to push that. Because you shouldn't, and by the way, I have 8 different Twitter accounts to support our business accounts. Why should I have that? I should have my tax ID tied into one Twitter account. I have Elon Musk TR as a Twitter account. Why? Why would that be available to me? Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it should be verified, should be tied into your Social Security or your tax ID if it's a business, and one. You can only have one that should be verified. So all social media. And then I know that this is, especially with our patients who are dealing with the social stigma of it.
Of course.
And some dumbass person posting some dumbass video in some dumbass place, just demoralizing patients who are going through or traumatizing them.
Of course. Of course.
Right? So we'll see what we can do. Maybe in 2026 we'll be able to do
Maybe.
it. So I know there's always a lot to talk, but now with the playlist that we have available in our YouTube channel, people can go easily in our playlist, and there's a topic-specific playlist.
Of course.
So they can actually watch more than one support group discussions if they're bored. So, or if they want to get more information. And the other thing that I was about to say, with the YouTube, the auto dubbing being available. Now, Japanese may not help us much, but the Spanish should for our patients.
Of course.
There are patients who are speaking only Spanish.
Yep.
And I was always kind of worried about their access to our channel and what they can benefit from it. Now there's auto dubbing available, and then we post all the live videos into the video section. We are uploading them. So then it's now available on the auto dub. So like if they want to use that function, they have to be on the video tab. And then maybe if next time we should actually just show that in a couple pictures. So then how they can actually, because I still have family members who go to the live and then try to do that.
And it doesn't work.
I have told them so many times it has to be an uploaded one. So that's.
But that's great.
Can you
That's
imagine
great.
like what technology is doing?
Yep.
Right. So like other than what we have started doing here with this session, like with the 2 p.m. session, how much we are able to reach out to different people. But now the AI is able to help with these situations to take this and I put it in Spanish, just like, and I do very well in French, Dr. Guy, I have to tell you. So I'm going to learn French.
That's your third language,
That's just because, Ethan, I don't know if you ever tried that, but I look just right in French. So, but this is a huge access.
It is.
And it's a huge resource for our patients.
Absolutely.
So we want to make sure that everyone knows it's available to them, and they can take advantage of these.
Absolutely.
So, Dr. Gao, again, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
We want to make sure that patients know that they're not alone, and we are here. And we are here in person. We are here virtually. And please reach out to us if you have any issues, and stay united. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.